Listen and listen to me well. If your business's unique selling proposition does not shift and pull on the heartstrings of your ideal client within the next 30 to 60 days before winter 2025, your business may be stalled out on ice. And this is something that can be avoided if you start now. In this video, I really want to break down how you can move from having these mundane stories, AI written, chat GPT induced content that's replaceable. I was actually watching a documentary from another fellow writer yesterday, and it was a great documentary because we see these patterns as editors, writers, content creators, especially at the senior level. You can really tell these patterns whenever somebody is using AI. And he was talking about this same pattern that I've seen. You'll have like 3 words and it'll have a period after each word. And so there's this issue with the sentence structure, and that shows us as talented writers, hey, that person probably wrote that with AI, or maybe they're not a really good writer that knows how to get into the transitions and the details. These things are so important, not just from like a nonfiction, like when we think about developing writing, a lot of people think about like nonfiction and they think back to like their college English language class, whatever. But business writing is the exact same. It's more important for you, especially with business writing, to be really, really good, or you have someone on your team who is really, really good, because in the age of AI, when people pick out these patterns and they start to notice this content looks like somebody else's content that I saw, it sounds too similar, because another word that I've been hearing that I'm just so tired of, you already leave a comment down below if you know. People have been overusing the word vibes, okay? Because ChatGPT basically told them that they need to use that word, and now that they've been using ChatGPT, rather than actually writing their own podcast scripts, blogging scripts, and actually using their brain, we see a lot of content that is just too cookie cutter, and this can be a crisis for your business, okay? Let me give you an analogy. So let's say you're a celebrity baker, okay? I had a friend in East Africa who is a celebrity baker. Imagine she's able to make the most delicious red velvet cakes. She makes them from scratch. And then there's also a red velvet cake that you may get from like Walmart. And you see the difference between the two. You can taste the difference. There's some love, some compassion, some care. It almost seems artistic when you eat the cake from the celebrity baker. But the Walmart cake comes in this bland packaging. You know, it's cake, it's functional, I guess, it serves its purpose, but it doesn't have the compassion and the care and the artistry that is embedded in the celebrity baker's cake. You know what I mean? If you have tried like one of those delectable cakes, okay? They are so good. But that's essentially how your business functions, because at the end of the day, the hard truth that you may not want to admit is that, and maybe you don't even think about this when you're on your marketing team or you have your marketing director and you guys have calls, you may not be thinking about the reality that when somebody is looking at your business, especially if you're in finance, because there's so much finance information out there, there's so much investing information, there's so many tax relief firms, there's so much, like finance is such a broad industry, okay? And so when people are looking to work with you, they are already finding a way to not work with you, meaning they're looking at your website and they're like, let me find a reason that this won't work for me. And so if you're proactive with both your website copy, your email marketing, your SMS, and your entire retention marketing strategy, you are going to come to the conclusion, I can actually answer their questions before they have them and anticipate their next thought process. But this can only be done when you're extra detailed and you're paying attention to your ideal client, meaning, let me just give you a case study, actually. I'm going to go right into a case study that's really going to drive this point home. I want to tell you a case study. We write emails like this for some of my clients. One of my favorite clients, we use this email template a lot. And it's essentially like, imagine you're waking up at 3:02 a.m. and you're paralyzed with anxiety once again because you know you owe tax debt to the IRS. It's over $15,000, and you wake up again with these hot flashes, a cold sweat in the night, this guilt that you have not told your family, you have not told your friends that you owe all of this tax debt. It's like a secret that you won't tell anybody about, but we know you are dealing with that problem. That email written exactly like that sounds so much different from maybe their competitor that's in their inbox like, hey, Schedule a call. We know you owe tax debt. Guess what? Let me tell you all of these 5 different things you can do. This is where stories and details and those mundane things that you think about that somebody goes through throughout the day matter big time, because that's going to be your main differentiator. The way that you tell stories, especially in the age of AI, especially in the existential AI communications crisis, as I like to call it, is that your unique selling proposition is how detailed and empathy driven your stories can be for your consumer. And when you think about where you are right now, it's debilitating, isn't it? It's like your marketing feels weird. It feels unknown. It feels strange. You're kind of like going back between 2 thought processes, trying to figure out, like you're at a crossroads of, how do I want to show up on social media? How do I want to show up via email? How do I want my story to sound? And then if you've already published and updated your website and you've already created this new branding, but you feel like your pivot isn't really hitting the way you wanted it to, this is a great time before Q4 to audit your brand message, like as soon as possible, because your business does not have to be stalled out on ice. It doesn't have to be frozen before winter 2025. You can take the steps now. And yes, it's uncomfortable to audit your business, to audit your marketing and messaging strategy. Yes, it's an investment, but it's an investment into the legacy of your business. We have to get into the habit as entrepreneurs, especially if we have virtual online services, of treating it like a legacy, not just like something we just side hustle popped up on, I'm just going to chat GPT my way to my brand story. That is not going to work in 2026. I can guarantee you, I can promise you. I've seen so many entrepreneurs go out of business in the last 2 years. And as a marketing specialist, as a communication strategist, and as a lover of all things storytelling and writing, I'm going to tell you right now, the main reason is because a lack of brand story development. Not that there was not a brand story, but it was too generic. So ask yourself the hard questions, or find someone that is a retention marketing strategist like myself who can ask those hard questions for your business to stay open, so that you can leave a legacy for your children, so that you can build out a new office like one of my clients is doing, literally building out a new office because she has been in such a season of prosperity in her firm, so that you can travel and open up different franchises of your business, so that you can invest in other areas, so that you have more free time with your family, your friends, your husband, your wife, whatever. If those are some of your goals, if I'm already in alignment with what you're thinking, you may want to hit the link in bio at Tiffy G Writes and book a free retention marketing strategy audit, where we will talk one-to-one right here and go over what is working right now in your messaging and what's not. Because I can guarantee you right now, here today, the problem that you're facing is not that your business isn't valuable. It's not even that you've hired the wrong people, but you need to develop your message and critique it and include details so that your audience feels seen, heard, and understood. I want you to rely less on ChatGPT and really understand your ideal client on a deeper level. Talk soon.